Let's talk about Paleo-Ketogenic Diet as a standalone therapy for autoimmunity and many other chronic diseases. Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Sylvia and I'm a big city mom. I live, work and raise my family in New York City, and whenever I have some free time, which isn't very often, I blog and vlog about health through diet, lifestyle and nutrition. A few months ago, I was able to reverse my autoimmunity, rheumatoid arthritis. You've guessed it, through diet, lifestyle, and nutrition. And I was so blown away with the results that it finally pushed me to start this YouTube channel and share my experiences. So if you're on this journey yourself, you should definitely subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's get started with today's video. I've been on this mission to find a cure for rheumatoid arthritis for many years. And over the years, I've tried all kinds of crazy therapies, treatments, herbs, medicines, everything except for the conventional drugs, because I knew they weren't going to heal me, they were only going to manage my symptoms. Now, everything changed drastically once I found Paleo-Medicina, a clinic in Hungary run by Dr. Zsofia Clemens. They have a very different approach to autoimmunity and all chronic diseases, focusing on the gut health or your gut permeability. And they have a diet known as Paleo-Ketogenic Diet that actually was able to reverse my autoimmunity. So let's explore Paleo-Ketogenic Diet today. What is it and how it works? Paleo-Ketogenic Diet, or PKD for short, is a full animal-based, mostly red meat diet with focus on consumption of animal fat. That's right, this diet does not allow coconut oil or MCT oil or olive oil. The emphasis is on animal fats, not even butter. You might be able to tolerate butter, but it's not the case with many people with some serious chronic illnesses. So butter is optional, but not always. So goes for eggs. You might be able to tolerate them, but there are a lot of people out there that cannot tolerate eggs either. You will be maintaining ratio of fats to proteins 2:1. Now, if you have higher caloric demands because you are an athlete, for example, you will eat more, you will eat to satiety. However, you still should maintain the ratio of fats to proteins to be 2:1. This diet does not allow dairy, especially if you have something like a Crohn's disease of autoimmunity. Milk and dairy is a hard no. You just gotta give it up. Now, when it comes to plants, there is a maximum of 30% allowance of plants that you can consume only if you insist on it. And it is probably appropriate to introduce them more in the maintenance phase. But if you just started on the Paleo-Ketogenic diet, then you are probably better off not having any plants, any dairy, anything else, because this will slow down the recovery and the normalizing of the gut permeability. So to sum it up, basically you are looking at red meat, fat such as tallow, lard, duck fat, some salt, water, maybe butter, maybe eggs. Paleo-Ketogenic diet doesn't come without its challenges, and number one is compliance. Yes, even for me, it was quite challenging to switch to the Paleo-Ketogenic diet. I tried many times and I failed many times. I got so frustrated with myself that I finally reached the point of do or die. Now, it was 10 days of pure torture, but the good news is that about 10 days, my cravings just dropped off, and at the same time my joint pain started retreating. Another very interesting challenge to PKD is giving up of supplements. Especially people that already made the intentional choices to improve their lifestyle and diet oftentimes supplement. And it is a difficult transition to make, that following PKD does not require any supplementation. And in fact, you can sabotage your recovery if you continue supplementing. I made a video about supplements, so please do check it out. And another challenge can be, depending on your country, you might have difficulty accessing good quality meat. Also, if you are part of culture that does not value and appreciate organ meats, it might be quite off-putting just looking at liver in the store, let alone making it into a meal at home. Now, finally, another challenge is cost. Diagnosis and testing aren't covered by insurance. And also, if you want to buy good quality meat, it will be more expensive than conventional supermarket meats. Dr. Zsofia Clemens has also background in epilepsy, and epilepsy is the only condition recognized by mainstream medicine to be treated with ketogenic diet. However, she noticed that ketogenic diet becomes a lot more powerful if you remove all milk and dairy. On the other hand, another doctor that works at Paleo-Medicina, Dr. Zsofia Clemens, was researching and applying Paleolithic diet for thousands of patients that he was treating. And as he was treating different patients based on their performance, he was adjusting and improving the diet. And at some point, he reached the conclusion that the most powerful tool to help his patients is to just drop plants altogether. Now, combining the experience of the two doctors, Paleo-Ketogenic Diet was born. During the many years of clinical practice, doctors at Paleo-Medicina realized that just about every of their patients had a varying degree of gut permeability or leaky gut. And in fact, leaky gut was at the center of all chronic diseases they were treating. Now, healthy gut performs two functions. It absorbs all the nutrients that we need to be alive and blocks everything that could kill us. And that's bacteria, viruses, toxins, both plant-based and man-made, and other undigested food particles. Now, to diagnose how bad our gut is doing, they use test known as PEG 400 to diagnose permeability and the level of it. I made a video about that, about my experience with PEG 400, and I will link it in the description box. And then they use blood work to identify nutritional deficiencies. Once you get the diagnosis, you are going to get on the PKD. So let's discuss some of the illnesses that can be addressed with Paleo-Ketogenic diet. Well, the number one, of course, is autoimmunity. All 200 of them that we know as of today, the list continue growing. In fact, rheumatoid arthritis is one of those autoimmune conditions that respond the fastest. In about 3 to 4 weeks, patients that deal with rheumatoid arthritis notice major improvement, in some cases full recovery. Now, on the other hand, Crohn's disease patients take the longest. All right, they can treat variety of cancers, and Paleo-Medicina has a very interesting and I think very ethical approach to cancer treatment, because as you know, there is a lot of controversy surrounding cancer treatments. So what they do, they will present the patient with all of their data and research that they've gathered over the years, and they will allow the patients to decide if they want to use PKD along with other conventional treatments, or do they want PKD as a standalone therapy. It's worth mentioning that those patients that will opt for PKD as a standalone treatment for cancers have the best results, as reported by Paleo-Medicina. Another condition that can be cured, as listed on Paleo-Medicina website, is epilepsy. And the reason for that is that not only are we talking about the ketogenic diet, but because Paleo-Ketogenic diet does not allow dairy, that leads to full recovery from epilepsy. Other issues that can be addressed is mental health issues, because as we know, leaky gut is now implemented in a lot of mental health disorders. And finally, diabetes type 2 can be easily also addressed with PKD. Shall we now dispel some of the myths and misconceptions about PKD? Let's do it. Carnivore diet doesn't equal PKD, although PKD is a carnivorous diet. Now, what sets PKD apart is that you need to maintain the ratio of fat to proteins 2:1 so that you stay in stable ketosis. If you are just consuming carnivore diet, you may be still running your metabolism on glucose and not ketones because excess proteins will be converted to glucose. Poultry and seafood aren't good replacements for organ meat. So if you want to be consistent with PKD, you have to bite the bullet and get used to consuming organ meats. Also, fermented foods aren't a thing on the Paleo-Ketogenic diet, and the reason for that is that according to Paleo-Medicina, you can get all the viable and important nutrients from all animal-based diet, and you don't need any plant matter. However, fermentation is one of the most effective tools to reduce some of the oxalates and lectins in plants and basically pre-digest them for us. Even though not everybody gets diagnosed with autoimmunity or cancers or any other chronic diseases, some 80 to 90% of modern humans have varying degrees of gut permeability or leaky gut. They just don't show the symptoms just yet anyway. You will eat to satiety, and the great thing about PKD is that it will regulate your appetite naturally, provided you maintain that ratio of 2:1 of fat to proteins. If you don't have that ratio, your appetite and hunger will not be a reliable clue. Kidneys will not get overwhelmed or in trouble by consuming of proteins. Kidneys don't have any problems processing proteins. When kidneys have issues is due to extended chronic exposure to insulin, and when you are on the PKD diet, insulin just isn't an issue. Meat doesn't cause heart attacks or colon cancers. All the studies that point out that meat can cause cancer or heart attacks were poorly designed, meaning there was no differentiation between processed and unprocessed meats. And the biggest offender in the processed meats are the nitrates, which turn carcinogenic in our guts and cause serious health problems. Diarrhea shouldn't be an issue on PKD if you do it right. Diarrhea is a sign, and it happens often to people that transition to the carnivore diet. It's a sign that your body has to process too much proteins. Now, if you do the ratio of fat to proteins 2:1, you will not have the diarrhea when transitioning to PKD. At the same time, constipation also isn't an issue on the Paleo-Ketogenic diet because the food gets absorbed and digested so much more efficiently than if you were consuming fiber that you will have fewer bowel movements. However, none of them are a sign of constipation, and you will not have any problems passing off the stools. Thank God for Paleo-Medicina. Their approach, their diet, the way they treat their patients allow me to successfully reverse rheumatoid arthritis. And I must tell you, getting on PKD was one of the best things I did for my health. And there are way many benefits than just reversing of rheumatoid arthritis, but it is a topic for another video. Now, I understand if you're thinking to yourself, this is really challenging and difficult diet to implement, and it was for me. I must have failed about 20 to 30 times before I got it right, before I got totally frustrated with myself and I got to the point, do or die. And I did it. It was 10 days of an absolute torture. Not only did my joints hurt, I had a mental fog, headaches, I couldn't focus, I wanted to sleep, I had coffee cravings, sugar cravings, carbohydrate cravings, and then 10 days were up, all of my cravings dropped off, and at the same time, my joint pain started to go away. So I do recommend PKD. I think if you have a serious chronic condition, you should definitely reach out to Paleo-Medicina and schedule a appointment with them, and you can do it through Skype. So wherever you are in the world, as long as you have an access to internet, you have access to Paleo-Medicina, and I will link them down below. And I am forever grateful for all their work. They are absolutely amazing. This will do it for this week's video. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, like, share, and comment. And I will see you in my Friday findings this Friday. Bye!